Defensive midfielders, the unsung heroes, ultimate connectors, engine room, and the backbone of every team. You can almost tell a team's identity based on how the defensive midfielder plays. They are anchors, enforcers, destroyers, ball winners, deep line playmakers, registers, the volante, and all these abilities to give one thing: control. In today's video, we take a look at football through the lens of the defensive midfielders as we consider the greatest defensive midfielders of the 21st century so far, each one with their special traits. Ready? Let's go! The 10th player on our list, Van Bommel, epitomises the ruthless side of defensive midfield to perfection. The Dutch legend started his career in Fortuna Sittard at just 16 in the 1993 season. And although Fortuna was relegated, Van Bommel enjoyed a good bit of experience in the Eerste Divisie. After his incredible 1995 season, where he'd become the full midfield specimen after promotion, Van Bommel moved to PSV Eindhoven, and from there, his story just got better every time. Great in winning the ball back and releasing creative passes, he was far more than just a destroyer, and the biggest teams in the world saw that. Van Bommel subsequently moved to Barcelona, Bayern München, and AC Milan, playing a different role in each team. He was pivotal for Netherlands' tremendous World Cup run in the 2010 World Cup, where they eventually finished second place, and he won 8 national titles between 2000 and 2011, playing a pivotal role each time. This quote says all you should know about Van Bommel. "I always try to talk to the referee, asking him what he feels, so that I know how far I can push it, and it will be the same against Spain." He was a player willing to push the law to its limit, using every bit of it to his advantage. Gilberto Silva may not have been lauded as other popular names on our list. And perhaps he did not present the glamorous skills of Dennis Bergkamp or Patrick Vieira's barnstorming physicality. He didn't need to. He was the perfect player to operate from the shadows, a guard dog in front of the defence, allowing Vieira to burst forward. Gilberto was fine carrying the piano for others to play, the selfless midfielder in every way. His breakthrough time came at Brazil's 2002 World Cup, where he replaced AS Roma's Emerson, who sustained a training injury. Gilberto would go on to play every single game in the World Cup, even assisting Ronaldo's match-winning goal against Turkey. Gilberto was never a ball-hugging Samba star, but his diligent defending and practical approach to the game were much appreciated by Wenger, and perhaps undervalued by fans and observers. He combined intelligence with resilience, acting as a cool head even in the toughest games. Like Gilberto Silva, the next player on our list prioritises function over form to perfection. Fernandinho may never have been a colossal midfielder or even a match winner, but he was a superb defensive midfielder for such a long period. Fernandinho aged like the best brand of South American wine, peaking in his 30s. Starting his footballing career at the youth arm of Club Atlético Paranaense, he joined a bunch of Brazilian talent export to Europe, with Shakhtar Donetsk as his next destination. In Shakhtar, he spent 8 years, and when Man City came knocking for the stabiliser, he was genuinely at his prime. The midfielder won the Premier League title with Manuel Pellegrini, and when Pep Guardiola arrived at the Etihad, Fernandinho raised his game even higher. Fernandinho's 2019-2020 season with Manchester City was arguably his best, where he steered Manchester City to a 98-point finish. Fernandinho's made over 800 club appearances, is still going strong at his boyhood club, Club Atlético Paranaense, and probably gave Manchester City the blueprint for what their defensive midfielder should be. It's safe to say City followed the Fernandinho manual, with Rodri holding the place down. The next player on our list has a career trajectory of legends. N'Golo Kante makes this list on the sheer brilliance of his brief spell at the top. At 24, Kante signed for Leicester City, following his first season of top-flight football at SM Cannes in League One. Kante was immense during his only season at Leicester on their historic title run. Like a turbo ball during Leicester's title victory, he covered every blade of grass, hounded every ball, and was also quite capable on the ball as well. After an immaculate season at Leicester, he moved to Chelsea, where his reputation soared higher. After his first 2 seasons at Chelsea, Kante suffered injury problems and did not feature as much anymore. So we could argue that Kante had bare 3 seasons of football at the highest level, and boy, were those seasons glorious. He was pivotal to Chelsea's Champions League win and forged a colossal partnership with Paul Pogba on France's World Cup win. From 2015 to 2018, Kante was no doubt one of the most impactful players in the world, giving Toulon's Park a run for his money. While Kante has not played nearly as many games as the players on this list, the impact he's had in such a short time is enough to earn him a place on this list. Kante may not have played too long at the highest level. Claude Makelele certainly did. With a career spanning 21 years and a famous 3 years at Chelsea, Makelele spent enough time playing so well to have a position named after him. Yep, he was that good. Contrary to popular opinion, Makelele did not invent the holding midfielder role. During the early 2000s, the 4-4-2 formation was very popular, and Makelele's effectiveness in that role was spectacular. Makelele started his professional career with Nantes, and then earned moves to Marseille and Celta Vigo. After 2 years at Celta Vigo, Makelele would become a less glamorous but much needed piano carrier for the Galacticos in 2000. Zinedine Zidane likened Makelele to the engine of a Bentley and the connector for everything Real Madrid did. And when he moved to Chelsea, Makelele shone like the finest Bentley engine. His tenacity, awareness, consistency and strong mentality helped Jose Mourinho's Chelsea become one of the Premier League's all-time defensive setups, conceding a mere 15 goals all season. Makelele ended his career as one of the greatest destroyers who played his best football in the 2000s. While so many players on our list are destroyers in their own right, Xabi Alonso isn't so much. Arguably one of Liverpool's best players, Alonso is what you'd call a Rolls Royce of a midfielder. He could sit deep, read the game, put in a tackle, thread a ball through the eye of a needle, and even score the occasional net breaker. Alonso began his career at Real Sociedad and then moved to Liverpool, where he won the Champions League in a movie-esque final. After 5 seasons at Liverpool, Alonso moved to Real Madrid, where he got even better and he won a Champions League. After an amazing time at Madrid, he moved to Bayern München, where he enjoyed a splendid twilight to his career, retiring at 35. Alonso won over 100 caps for Spain in holding midfield during Spain's most extraordinary time. His placement is almost inevitable. Just like Gattuso, Vieira's identity as a defensive midfielder is questioned by most. While Vieira played the early football in the 90s, Vieira's performance in the 2000s is more than enough ground to include him in this list. Had he played more in the 2000s, he'd certainly be higher up this list. One of several extraordinary French players to start their career at Cannes, Vieira was destined for greatness from the start. Spending 2 years at Cannes, Vieira would move to AC Milan, where he endured limited game time to say the least. Vieira then moved to Arsenal, where he became one of the best Premier League players. A strong-willed midfielder whose imposing figure was great for running through defences and throwing in tackles from impossible angles. Vieira is almost the most complete midfielder ever seen. Where his sleek dribbles can't work, he'd simply burst through. Vieira won over the cup for France, more than 3 Scudettos with Inter Milan, and a Champions League title. While Vieira comes 4th place on this list, had he started playing in the 2000s, he should be much higher. While Gattuso may not have the most imposing physique, the mention of his name alone sent shivers down the spine of even the most strong-willed players. Italian born and bred, Gattuso is the poster boy of the destroyer position. His willingness to put in a tackle and wear his heart on his sleeve made him an eternal favourite to Milan fans in the San Siro. Gattuso's time at AC Milan was surely his most successful, where his youthful speed and tenacity complemented Pirlo's patience and control to cement a period of dominance with AC Milan. Gattuso's midfield influence also extended to Italy, where he won a World Cup amidst tons of other trophies. We must admit, we expect quite the uproar for Casemiro's inclusion in this list. As one of the very few players still playing on this list, Casemiro's inclusion requires a lot of backing up, and we're certain the Brazilian maestro can back his spot up. For a start, Casemiro has already played over 600 games, a record more than Kante and Makelele. Though he's played for quite a number of clubs, Casemiro spent most of his career in Real Madrid, where he formed an important midfield trio with Luka Modric and Toni Kroos. Casemiro racked up 5 UEFA Champions League trophies and 13 other titles in Real Madrid before moving to Manchester United in 2022, where he's performed reasonably well. And while he's had a shaky start to the season, we're quite confident his CV will take him through. Since making that move, English fans have gotten to see the creative side of Casemiro, aside his destroyer reputation. Over the past 6 years, bar 2023, Casemiro has ranked as one of the best defensive midfielders in the world. And since our list is focused on the millennium, Casemiro's more than earned his spot. For the final name on our list, you're probably expecting his name to appear at some point. And if Sergio Busquets is the name on your mind, then you'd be right. A perfect defensive midfielder in the perfect system. Busquets' first name is elegance, his second, control, and his third, meticulous. Add these qualities together and you have the best defensive midfielder in this millennium. Overshadowed by other skillful players like the Xavis and Iniestas, Busquets' role in the team often goes unnoticed, but remove him from any squad and you'd see them crumble. His ability to turn away from pressure was a feature of Barcelona's tiki-taka, as it helped them control the tempo of the game and switch things up. Steven Gerrard described Busquets as being, quote, as playing in second gear and in a positive way, because everything's so easy for him. One touch, two touch. When you try and coach young players in midfield now, what is the point of having 5 or 6 touches when you can have 1 or 2 and move the ball swiftly, began Lampard. Busquets won 32 trophies in 15 seasons for Barcelona, and internationally he won the World Cup in 2010 and the Euros in 2012. He's one of the greatest midfielders who's played all this career this millennium, so there's no dethroning the king of the pivot. What do you think of our list? Do you think these players will be replaced soon? Let us know in the comments. While you do that, check out the Premier League players of the season so far. If you enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. As always, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time. Bye.